Okay, guys, I'm gonna do one more for today before I packed up my stuff and cleared my desk off. Looking at my camera to make sure that everything's going. Okay, we're rolling. And so now I am going to do a red ink pen. I did the same thing. I put it down on its side so I could get this clip on there, and then I just traced it with a pencil around over there. So and then I'm going to put it up on my sketchbook so I can look at it, and I'm going to kind of fill in the dots here. That kind of comes in, that comes in, and that comes out. I'm just refining my sketch here, which is not too refined, to be honest, but you know. Okay, so this comes down. I'm looking at this part right here, and this comes, let me zoom in so you can get a better look. So this part, it's kind of comes out a little bit. Not very much, just a little bit. And this is where that clip is. So we're gonna indicate that. And we're gonna put that. And we're gonna come down here. And that kind of comes out. And this comes here. There's like a curved line there, and this is this part where the cartridge goes. So we're just going to leave that alone. That's red inside of there. So let's make a little part of the cartridge because you can see in there. And this cartridge comes down to about right here. And we're gonna make a curved line there, and we're gonna make a curved line here, and we're gonna take this cartridge down in the middle. So just look at your piece. You know, I think you might have a red ink pen. If not, use a black one. Okay, so here I've got my clip, and that's where it hooks on. This part's going to be red. Just going to write RE, and that ink comes up to about here, and that's red, and that's clear, and that's sort of a gray color under there. This is gray. And here's where my ink pen comes out, and I'm just gonna make a point there. Okay, so I am gonna paint this with my little brush. Let's see if I got a number 4. I do. It's not a creative mark, but this is an Escoda or Princeton Neptune. So I will link that in the description below. But if you have any size 4 brush, that would work. So I'm gonna start off with this red is vermilion hue. And that's kind of orangey. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use Rose Madder. That comes in the Holbein set, which I've been using during this whole series. I really like these paints. They're very pigmented. And just mix up some here on my palette. So let me bring my palette over so you can see it. I think you can see that Rose Madder there. Okay, so I'm just going to start painting. Paint this lid. And I'm not going to paint the cap yet because I kind of want to keep them separated. So let me go down here and paint this bottom. I heard online where Rose Madder smells like roses. I've never, certain brands I think do. I've never smelled it before. I've not noticed any smell in the Rose Madders that I have. Alright, so there's that. And let's go ahead and I'm going to make up some, I think I'm just going to use, see if this Rose Madder mixed with this Prussian blue will make like a purpley gray color, and use what I have on my palette. So I kind of want to paint that red first though, because I want to glaze over. So let me paint this. Let me paint this red too. I seem to have much more control over this with this number 4. I seem to have a little bit of a frog in my throat today. So I apologize for that. Okay, so there's our lid. Let me go ahead and paint this part that's coming down. Let me paint that red. Okay, now I seem to want a little bit more pigment, especially right here, because that's really a dark red. So I'm going to go in with really kind of a darker okay. Now I might go over with this darker red in certain places. but not the whole thing. I'm going to leave some lighter coming through. So I'm going to wet that down just a little bit more. See if this is dry. It's not quite dry. This one is. And so is the lid. So I'm going to go over this. And leave that lighter red coming through. And I'm going to do that again up here. And pull that down. Okay. Alright, just kind of giving that a little bit of shadow and dimension there. Alright, so I've got that. Give that some red. I think that turned out a little bit too purple, so I'm gonna glaze over it with some red. Okay, so I think we got our reds going here. Let's clean up the edges a little bit. All right. So we'll let that dry and we'll come back and we'll put a glaze over the I'm going to go ahead and put this purpley. I just mixed a little bit of that rose madder with that Prussian blue that I already had my palette, and put that on the bottom. We'll define that more with our marker. So that needs to dry, and as soon as that dries, we'll come back and put our final glaze over this and then do our detail work with our marker. Okay, so re-rolling. So I'm going to take some of this purpley gray, make it a little bit more gray. And I am going to take it down and put our shadow. I have a really harsh shadow here. And then I'm going to add some water and okay, and bring it down. I'm bringing it down a little further. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to put this darker purpley gray right next to the edge. Just a little bit different technique to make that shadow. This paper dries so fast. Okay, so now I'm going to take my purpley glaze and I'm going to go over. Oh, that pulled that right out. So okay, we're going to fix it. We're going to lift it off. That must have not quite been dry yet. Alright, so I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. Okay, I think it's dry now. Okay. So, I think that's all the parts that we're going to paint. I might give this another shadow in here. I see some springs, so I might put those in there. I see some lines right in here. Okay, I do see some lines. Right here at the bottom. And there's the empty part of the cartridge. So I might put a little bit more gray, purpley gray right here. That really doesn't make it that much darker. I see some lines right down here at the bottom. think that's going to be all that we're going to do. Well, I say that, and then I think this needs some more shadow right here. And right here. And right here. And right here. And let's take some paint. We could do this with our marker. Let's go ahead and do it with paint. We'll do it with marker too. All right. Let's let that dry and we'll be right back. All right, so our painting's dry. So we're going to take our Micron 02 and we're going to outline our red ink pen. Filling up our sketchbook with things around the house. If anyone has an idea on something simple I can paint that everyone would have around the house, text me in the comments below. Something easy. Because even this turned out to be a little bit of a challenge. We might even have to lift that part out a little bit, which we can. See, I made a mistake there. Alright, so here's our cartridge. And I'm going to go over these lines so it looks like they are over. Okay, maybe I'll... Oh look, I got it crooked already. It's alright. I wasn't looking at it right. And then we're going to do the tip of our pen. Let's go up one more. All right. So is there any part of this we forgot? I don't think so. All right, so I'm going to take my white gel pen and first I'm going to take this little number 2 brush, and I'm going to try to go in here and wet that just a little bit, just right in between there where the clip goes. I'm going to take a napkin or a paper towel and I'm going to lift that out so it looks like there's a space. Okay. Alright, take my white gel pen and I'm going to write red pen on the front of that. Very cool. Take my marker and sign my name. We're still in August 2020. And there's the next page of our sketchbook. Messed up a little bit right there, but hey, I think it looks good. Find a red ink pen, make something, or you know, if you don't have a red ink pen, next time we're gonna do a pencil. Next time we're gonna do a pencil. And so try to find a pencil, and this one doesn't have an eraser, but we're gonna make one anyway. So we're gonna use that as our reference, and we are drawing from life and filling up our sketchbook. So thanks for joining me, guys. Text me your pictures and email me or leave it in the comments below. I'd love to see them. And you know how to get a hold of me. Thanks. Like and subscribe. Sketchbook series. Bye, everybody.